Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación.
¡Hola, mundo!
Muchas gracias.
Porque seguimos comprometidos con la inclusión.
Reconocemos la importancia de la lengua de señas y el aporte de la comunidad sorda en nuestra cultura.
Porque las lenguas de señas nos unen.
¿Has escuchado que a las personas con discapacidad les dicen de todo? Minusválidos, enfermitos, discapacitados, inválidos, sordomudo, cieguito, retrasado, mudito, chuncho, retardado, pobrecito. No podemos continuar así. La manera correcta es persona con discapacidad o personas con discapacidad auditiva, física, visual, intelectual. Recuérdalo, todos tenemos nombre y apellido. Pregunta y úsalos. Todos somos personas con o sin discapacidad. No discriminemos, no ofendamos más. Utilicemos las palabras adecuadas por el respeto e igualdad hacia las personas con discapacidad. Coproder protege los derechos de las personas con discapacidad. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales y visita nuestra página web. Consejo Cantonal de Protección de Derechos de Rumiñahui, siempre junto a la gente.
Estacionamientos para personas con discapacidad. Porque nos mueve incluir. Te invitamos a conocer el uso correcto de los estacionamientos exclusivos para personas con discapacidad. ¡Vamos! Es importante que sepas que para utilizar los estacionamientos exclusivos, el vehículo debe ser conducido o trasladar a una persona con discapacidad. No olvides dejar a la vista tu credencial de discapacidad en original, al interior del vehículo, en el costado inferior izquierdo del parabrisas delantero. Recuerda, la Cruz de Malta no es un documento válido para hacer uso de estos estacionamientos y según la ley de tránsito, su uso indebido es una infracción grave. Carabineros e inspectores municipales son los encargados de fiscalizar y cursar las infracciones correspondientes. Respetar los estacionamientos exclusivos para las personas con discapacidad es respetar sus derechos.
A veces solo somos el reflejo de aquello que queremos ser. Somos sombra y oscuridad. Y no solo en esta profesión, se da una lucha continua por ser aceptado, por hacer amigos, cuando tu enemigo es el reflejo que te da el espejo. La discapacidad más grande de todas es la de tu propio cuerpo. El reto ya no es superar al resto, sino a uno mismo. Creer en ti y amarte tal cual eres. Tu alma es la que necesita mejorar su apariencia.
Porque seguimos comprometidos con la inclusión.
Reconocemos la importancia de la lengua de señas y el aporte de la comunidad sorda en nuestra cultura.
Porque las lenguas de señas nos unen.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola, mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless Show, más allá de una amputación. Presenta Joe Beckwith. características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
Hello there, my beautiful, lovely internet friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am Joe, your friendly neighborhood disabled amputee. And today I wanted to talk about being called inspirational because as a person who is visibly disabled, this is something that I get called constantly. From the moment that I woke up from my amputation surgery to present date, many of my videos, pretty much every Facebook comment about my amputation journey in the beginning, people around me, people I meet at coffee shops and grocery stores, call me inspirational, and I'm not alone in this. There are a lot of articles out there about how if you exist with a disability and you do anything that's public, you are so inspiring. And this is something I've hesitated to really share my feelings on because I know that when you call someone who is disabled inspirational, it is never your intention to hurt them, to harm them, to offend them. I know that this is something that comes from like a very kind, good, loving place. Even if those intentions are golden, it doesn't mean that the outcome is always going to be a good thing. So I wanted to take some time today to share my personal perspective on what it feels like to be called inspiring all the time, everywhere I go. And while I'm sharing these thoughts simply from my perspective, I also know that this is something that a lot of my disabled friends feel. I've linked articles down below from disabled writers talking about this, and I think it's an important conversation to have. Most recently, I was scrolling through Facebook yesterday and I saw this video pop up, which is a video of a gal who does not have arms, driving with her legs, with her feet, really cool. And I went through the comment section of that and I pulled out just like some of the first comments I saw. The entire comment section looked like this. Just comment after comment after comment of like, you're so inspiring, you're so brave, I can't believe people complain about their lives because yours is so much harder, you're so inspiring. So let's talk about why being called inspirational kind of feels like crap. But first, a word from our sponsor. I'm thrilled to be able to introduce you to our returning sponsor, Ana Luisa Jewelry. Now, if you know me, you know that I love this company. If you watch any of my recent videos, you will see me wearing their jewelry because I honestly love it and I wear it every day. And this is very well timed considering that Mother's Day is coming up. Quick reminder, it's May 9th, if you didn't know. Mother's Day is an amazing time to take some time out of our normal routine and show our moms how much they matter to us. And one way to do that is to get her a meaningful, lovely, beautiful gift like Ana Luisa Jewelry. They are running a fantastic sale right now. Using the link down below, you can get 15% off all of their products, and additionally, two things that I personally really appreciate about their company. There's no luxury markup. These pieces start at $39 and go up from there. And additionally, they are all about sustainability, meaning that if you are supporting Ana Luisa Jewelry, you are supporting a company that is carbon neutral and really cares about the environment. They have a lot of different styles, meaning that there's gonna be something for everyone. Like I said, I wear their jewelry pretty much all the time, whether I'm like trying to dress up and look nice or honestly just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans at home. I discovered a few months ago that wearing jewelry really helps me feel a little bit more put together, even on days when I like don't take a shower. And it's also amazing to really style beautiful pieces of clothing that you have when you want to look fancy. Their jewelry makes an amazing gift for your mom or for someone you love or for yourself. So use the link down below to get 15% off. Check out their site, check out their products. Like I said, I absolutely love this company. I've said that probably maybe too many times in this ad, but it's honest and I'm thrilled to be working with them. So thank you so much, Ana Luisa, to sponsoring this video and my channel. And with that, let's get back to inspiration. Or not. So this whole situation happened 2.5 years ago. Prior to losing my leg, I had lived through a lot of ankle surgeries and procedures, lived with a lot of pain, and eventually made the decision that I needed to cut my leg off if I wouldn't have any hope of walking without pain, any hope of doing any activities I loved, of living a normal life, or really just the life that I wanted. And from the moment, and I do mean the moment that I woke up from surgery, the one word that people used to describe me or talk about what I had to do was inspiring. As I scrolled through the lovely, encouraging, amazing messages and comments that were left for me on Facebook, like 95% of the things that were said had to do with me being so inspiring. And as this journey has continued on, that pattern has continued. If you go through any comment section of any of my like big videos, or when I've told my story, inspiring, thousands of people consistently use this word. And recently I was on Facebook and I came across this video post, which is a really cool story about a girl who has no arms learning to drive with her feet. Awesome, amazing. But as I perused the comment section, I found pretty much nothing but comment after comment after comment about how inspiring and how brave this was. And it really got me thinking about this, because if you've watched my channel since the beginning, first off, thank you. I'm so glad you're still here. You'll know that I've had some struggle with this word before. Calling someone inspiring is one of the higher compliments that you can give someone. It's a super kind, nice thing to do. So why does a part of me hate it? Why does a part of me feel super gross and maybe a little bit angry and also very isolated and distant and just weird about it? As I've thought this through, I've come up with a small handful of reasons why this makes me so uncomfortable. And reason number one is that it immediately creates distance between me and everybody around me. If someone is an inspiration to you, generally speaking, they're not seen as a peer. It's something to aspire to. Something inspirational is something that inspires you, that makes you want to be better. So if you're telling someone they're inspirational, you're kind of putting people on two different levels. And even though the level that you are ascribing to the person with disability as being inspiring is supposed to be a really kind thing, what you're also doing is saying that, like, we are not the same. And if you're disabled, you already feel like you're not the same. So it's like this distance between you and the normal people widens even more. Pretty often people will approach me, like at a grocery store or a coffee shop, and be like, you are so inspiring. Keep doing what you're doing, girl, you rock. I was walking on the trail the other day and there was a jogger coming by me and he looked out at my leg and he was like, dude, you're awesome. And then like kept running and I was like, hey, thanks, I appreciate that, right? Like, cool, extra compliment for existing, all right. But if we dig a little bit deeper, I think the problem here is that most of the time, disabled people are being congratulated for doing extraordinarily normal things. Now, do these normal things sometimes come with extra challenges? You betcha. Yeah, they do. But do we live life? Do we find our own normal anyways? Yeah. The things that I've been called inspirational for are not world-shattering things. Like, they aren't inspiring things, in my opinion. They're normal tasks. The best example that I can think of this is the time shortly after my amputation surgery when I went to attend and listen to TED Talks. I love public speaking. I love listening to public speaking. I was excited to be there, but as I was trying to make my way to my seat, I had multiple people come up to me and, like, with awe, congratulate me for getting out of the house and being there. Like, how inspiring it was that I decided to come to this event because they could see that I was missing my leg. And while I was very kind and I said thank you so much, it made me feel really small, which I think is the polar opposite of what they were intending to do. Like, I was being congratulated and applauded for walking to my seat, for doing something that is extraordinarily normal. And again, does it take extra effort? Sure. Do I need to be, like, congratulated and put on a pedestal for doing something that the majority of the world can do? If you don't know my story, I really don't. And I feel like this could be controversial to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it as another reason. This is just my personal theory, so feel free to chuck it out if you don't agree with it. But when you see someone who is disabled, visibly, and your instant reaction is, oh my God, that's so inspiring. When you see them doing something relatively normal, there's sort of this implication that's inspiring because I don't think I could do it in your situation. Oftentimes comments are made about the fact that, like, man, if I had to go through what you were going through, I would just kill myself, right? Which again, is meant as a compliment, but what it really implies is that I don't think your life is worth living. I don't think the struggles that you faced are worth facing because being disabled is bad. You wouldn't want it, and because you see someone who is dealing with this horrible thing existing in life anyways, wow, that's just outstanding, because they have to deal with that thing, that awful thing, and yet they're still existing. They're still making it out of the house, which kind of carries the implication that there's this expectation that if you were disabled, someone wouldn't or shouldn't get out of the house. They wouldn't keep living life. The other thing with this is that the bar is so low. Like, I can do nothing but walk or wheel into a store and suddenly I am a source of inspiration and awe. Like, you would never consider going up to someone without a disability and being like, dude, you are so inspiring for making it out of the house today. Just like wow, thank you for being you. Thank you for trying your hardest and your best and just really inspiring us. Thank you. That would come across as really weird and sort of patronizing and uncomfortable But the reality is that for disabled people, oftentimes it comes across as weird and kind of patronizing and really uncomfortable. Now, I think this whole narrative shifts if we're talking about someone who happens to be disabled doing something that's legitimately inspiring. For instance, Dancing with the Stars. I love dancing so much. And I saw Amy Purdy, who is a double below knee amputee, dancing on Dancing with the Stars. And that was legitimately inspiring to me because like that's something I aspired to be. And I felt inspiration watching her do that and being like, I want that. I could do that too. That's incredible. A personal part of this for me is also the fact that I was dealing with exponentially harder things than losing my leg for years before it ever happened. I was dealing with the aftermath of some very intense physical, mental, sexual trauma. I was dealing with surgeries on my ankle. I was dealing with chronic pain and chronic illness. Like I was really struggling. But I was never like told that I was inspiring or inspirational for those things until the moment that I became visibly disabled. As soon as I had my leg cut off, which granted is a pretty big deal, the cheers were deafening. But prior to that, aside from those people who were like really close to me, right? Like they didn't exist. And it's weird to suddenly go from an average person dealing with challenging but pretty human struggles to then overnight be something to so many people and be this inspiration because now I look different. If you aren't disabled, you might not know this, but as a disabled person, you have two options. You could be the inspirational disabled person, or you can be the sad, pathetic disabled person. Pick one. And it almost feels like when I'm called inspirational, that like people are congratulating me for passing as the good kind of disabled. Because when we see the bad kind of disabled, when we see the bitter disabled person with a blanket on their lap who barely leaves the house, poor, sweet, pathetic, bitter people, like that's the bad kind of disabled. And here's the reality. No one is one or the other. People may appear as one or the other, but I've had many days where I am better and I don't want to leave home. And I've had many days where I feel fantastic and I'm grateful and I'm out doing stuff and rocking it. No one is one of the binary, but it kind of feels like you have to be. It kind of feels like there are two narratives laid out before you if you become disabled, and one is to be inspiring and one is to be pathetic. It feels like, good job, you are passing as the socially acceptable form of a disabled person, therefore you get the label of inspirational, when I know that there are so many people out there who are struggling, when I know that I can definitely present myself as very together, as confident, and I can go out and do stuff, and I'm very grateful for that. But I know that not everybody is in that position. And I feel like I get the pass to normal society because I can come off as living an average life, which thus means I am so inspiring. Like, we have very little expectations of people with disabilities. If they can do anything, we're like, wow, oh my God, that's amazing. And it is, right? Like, it is amazing that people who face certain challenges are able to do things, but that spans the board of human experience. That applies to single moms who are working jobs. That applies to people dealing with depression. That applies to those who have lost parents and are still trying to adjust to life again. To people who have had their heart broken and choose to continue to be open and look for love. Like, going through life with a disability, yes, it is different. Yes, it comes with specific challenges, but so does everything. And I don't want the bar for my existence to be congratulated to simply be choosing to live, choosing to do things. And while it can feel nice to feel like you're exceptional for something when you know you are capable of so much more, and you know that your community is capable of so much more, to know that people expect nothing of you and thus do not have high expectations or even high views of you is hard, you know? And again, I know these are nice things that people are saying, so I feel like a big old jerk complaining about it, but I just wanted to give some insight into perhaps what people are thinking when you see someone, you don't know their story, and you call them inspiring. There was a while ago where I had this conversation with an able-bodied friend of mine, and he was like, Joe, why don't you like being called inspirational? Like, isn't that a good thing? And I was like full of anger and rage about it. I was like, I'm not your freaking inspiration. Do I inspire you to do something, or does seeing me being a different looking person just make you feel better about your own life for a second? Like, am I inspiring you to make positive change in your life and be a kinder, better person, or to do more things that you want to do? Or are you just saying that I look different and that's weird, but I've continued to go on, so good for me, and thank God that is not what you have to deal with? This is kind of a conversation for another time, but you often will see like motivational posters of disabled people, and the tagline will be like, what's your excuse? Which is something I have lots of feelings about. But that kind of stuff, or like the montage videos of disabled people like running or doing cool things, and everybody's like, wow, I can't believe I complain about my life, they're so inspiring. And here's the thing, if someone who is disabled is doing something that is inspiring, that is like outside the norm, that actually inspires you to do something, then I think that word fits, right? Then I would be so honored and grateful to be called that. But when it is described for everything, when it is labeled, if you exist as a person in society with a disability and you still do some things, you are inspirational, it loses its meaning really quickly. It creates this distance between you and everybody else. It reinforces the fact that people immediately see you as different. If you see me and you're like, by the way, I just want to say you are so inspiring, thank you for doing what you're doing, as I am standing in line somewhere or picking up my coffee, I'm like, oh, you saw me and you saw a disabled person. You didn't see me and think of me as a fellow human being. You saw me and you thought of me as something different. I also feel like being called inspirational all the time kind of creates this pressure to be inspiring. Like, I know that's something I felt, especially during the first year of being an amputee, when so many people were telling me that. I was like, I have to do something amazing with my life because so many people think that I'm inspiring. So I can't just be a normal person. I can't just live my life. I can't just adjust to my prosthetic leg and do the things I want to do. I have to be someone. I have to be something because so many people think I should be this thing. And I know that that is not just my story. I know from personal conversations with a lot of other people that there is this pressure to not really talk about your struggles because that's not inspiring, even though I personally actually do find it inspiring when people are real and honest and vulnerable. But like, that's not the socially acceptable thing to do to be inspiring. You have to go do normal things in society and overcome challenges and talk about overcoming adversity and about how you've never let your disability define you or slow you down or stop you. I've had people tell me that before too, that I love the fact, and it's so inspiring that you haven't let your disability slow you down. And I'm like, dude, it's absolutely slowed me down. It's a huge part of my life. It impacts me in a lot of ways. It's not all of who I am, but like, you don't know my story, you don't know my life. And if you don't know that, why am I inspirational to you? Am I inspirational because I exist in a body that you would not want to be in? Am I inspirational because I look different and you see me as different and you know you see me as different, meaning that you probably have a suspicion that I feel different from everybody around me. So are you just saying that like you're really glad that's not you? After saying all of that, at the end of the day, I genuinely know, I truly do, that anyone who's ever said to me, you're inspiring, or if you've ever said to someone who is disabled, you're inspiring, I know that it has never been met with anything but like pure intent. I know that it's meant to be a good and a kind thing. But I wanted to share this video and some of the feelings behind it because I would love to see this conversation change. I would love to see those of us who are disabled be seen as whole people, have higher standards to live up to instead of the bar being so low that like if you don't end your own life, you're so inspiring because being disabled is so bad. I would love to see other words being used and not just being objectified as like a source of cheap inspiration. And I do also want to note the fact that I know people who are disabled, a few people, not many, but a couple, who want to be inspiring. Like that's their life's mission. Like they want to live life visibly and do things for people to inspire them and show them that it's possible to overcome anything. And that works for some people. I don't fault them for a second for that. If that's what they want for their lives, that is great. And I wish them all the best. I just know it's something that does not resonate with me. Like I'm not living my life with a disability to inspire you. I'm living my life as a whole human being, hoping to bring like healing and connection to the people around me and the people I have the honor of speaking to. Like I want to be a part of the world. I want to be a part of society and connection and not be seen as something that's outside of it and simultaneously looked up to but also looked down to. I truly appreciate you taking the time, if you've made it this far, to listen to this. Please know that if you've ever said this, I am in no way saying you're a bad person or you've done something wrong. I just wanted to shed some light and sort of start the conversation, start the dialogue, maybe put the thought in your head that maybe calling everybody you see inspirational who's disabled, you know, maybe there's a different word you could use. Or are you saying that because they legitimately inspire you? What's your reasoning behind that? You know, to kind of just question the ways that we automatically interact with people who are disabled. I think it's an important conversation to start, and I appreciate you being here for it. Recently over on Instagram, I asked you if you would date someone who was disabled. The reason I was asking this question was to get some honest answers on fears and concerns that people have when it comes to dating someone who's disabled, because while I realize it's like the politically correct thing to be like, I see disabled people as people, they're no different, of course I would date someone, the reality is there is a lot of fear and stigma and stereotypes and concerns, and I think that those are very necessary to address and have honest conversations about. I noticed that one of the most common answers was, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, I'm not disabled. I don't want to be offensive. I know that this is something I don't know a lot about. Like, what if I say the wrong thing and I hurt them? And to everyone who answered, first of all, thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate it. And secondly, I think that this is a very legitimate concern and something that's important to address. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What if you were accidentally a monumental jerk and say the wrong thing? But first, a very quick word from one of my favorite sponsors. Surfshark VPN is a fantastic way to keep yourself and your identity safe as you move about online. You probably know this already, but identity theft is a major issue, and it's something that you want to keep yourself safe from. Using a VPN keeps your information safe and secure as you browse the internet to your heart's content, and not only that, but you can change the server that you're connecting from. Why would that matter? You may ask yourself, and I'm here to tell you that it unlocks a lot of entertainment shows that are not available in the US. For example, you can connect from a French or German server, and suddenly you have a lot more entertainment options available to you. Now, if you find yourself bored watching the same shows over and over again because we've been in quarantine for way too long, check out Surfshark VPN and the fantastic 83% off deal they are giving my viewers by following the link down below. Not only does this help to support the channel, but also sincerely it's something I'd recommend you look into, because accessing extra entertainment is fantastic, but also staying safe online and protecting your information is pretty vital. So check them out. Surfshark, thank you for sponsoring this video. So I want to start out by saying that as a person who is visibly disabled, I'm a person with a disability, that I resonate with this. I came into disability a little bit later in life. I was 27 when I lost my leg. I dealt with health issues before that, but like being a part of the disabled community wasn't something I actually felt up until very recently, and I can tell you for 100% fact, I can think of situations where I didn't say anything at all, or I kept my distance from someone who looked different because I didn't know what to say, and if I said something, I was so terrified that it was gonna be the wrong thing, and then I was gonna be like the jerk in that person's story, and I would have hurt them, so I just didn't say anything at all. Knowing what I know now and looking back, I wish I would have done things differently. As a disabled person, I feel like I have to like start sentences with that, but as a disabled person, I know what it feels like to feel alien and different and know that people don't want to talk to you or maybe be around you because they're afraid of saying the wrong things. And also, on the flip side, I know what it's like to have people say the wrong thing and say something that was very unintentionally super hurtful and made me feel bad. I know what that feels like. I think this fear, especially in the culture that we're living in right now, which really promotes being politically correct, being aware, social justice, all of which I'm a big fan of, I think sort of a side effect of that is we've also made people not want to say anything at all because we're now aware that there are a lot of wrong things to say and do. We're not quite sure what all of those things are, but we know that they exist and we don't want to step on that landmine, so we just shut up. And I think that everyone's answer, it was honestly one of the most common answers of like not wanting to date someone who's disabled or having fears about it because they don't know what to say or what not to say, reflects that. However, I actually found this answer super encouraging because it means that people care, right? Like if you're worried about saying the wrong thing, it means that you care. This is a problem and a fear that actually has a very easy solution, and I'm gonna give you the cheat card to that solution right now. So two things. Number one, and this doesn't just apply to dating, this applies to literally everybody. I have had a few people in my life who have come to me at different times and said, Joe, I know that you're going through this thing, whether it was amputation or a surgery or trauma, and being like, I don't know a lot about this topic. and I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I am terrified that I am going to. Can you please tell me if I do? Can you let me know if I say the wrong thing, if I'm accidentally a total jackass and I hurt your feelings? Can you just let me know? Because I don't know. And I look back to those moments and they've made me feel so cared for, so loved, and so seen, because I realize that people don't know my life, don't know my story, don't know my pain points. I realize that most people are not educated about amputation or disability, and while I hope that we're kind of slowly working towards a world where people are more educated, there's a lot of ignorance. And I don't really fault people for that. We are all learning and growing. There are so many topics that I am an idiot on, that I have no idea, that I know I would say the wrong thing. But I think one of the most important things any of us can do is simply say, I don't know. If you have a friend, a family member, someone you're interested in who happens to be dealing with some kind of illness, some kind of disability, some kind of difference, if you're concerned about this, I would say just tell them. I think saying I don't know is really underrated. It's so humble to admit your shortcomings and your areas where you lack knowledge, and to indicate that you are willing to learn and grow. And additionally, something I would very highly recommend is taking time to educate yourself. There have been a couple times in my life where I've done this, and I've tried to make it more of a practice, where if I have a friend who says, hey, I'm dealing with POTS, I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. Let me look it up. Let me figure out what they're facing, because they've been vulnerable and they've expressed that this is a condition that they deal with. What are good things to say? What are not good things to say? Really, what is this thing? Let me understand it. Maybe I can be someone who's extra supportive in their life because of this. Like, taking initiative and looking into things on your own is super underrated. It's very easy to find information about basically any condition, illness, disability in the world by our fantastic information boxes, as my friend Erin and Megan calls it. Google it. Education is one of the best ways to eliminate saying the wrong thing, because when you know more, you can do better. When people have done that for me, it has felt absolutely amazing. I'm like, you took time out of your day to try to better understand me and my life, and maybe ways to help or not help, or whatever it is. Like, that's really cool, and makes me feel like I'm special to that person, like I matter. And the last thing I want to say on this topic, and this is going to be different for everyone, I fully understand that, but in reality, disabled people have dealt with a lot of stuff, a lot of shit from society, and most of us are not wilting flowers who can't ever hear the wrong thing without breaking down into tears. Most of us have heard really ignorant things. Many of us have heard malicious ignorant things. And while I am by no means saying that, like, you can't hurt someone's feelings, because 100% you can, what I am saying is that saying the wrong thing is not the end of the world. Again, this is going to vary from person to person, but if you express a willingness to learn, if you're willing to listen, most people know that you're gonna make some mistakes, because we know that you don't know everything. If you're scared that you're gonna say the wrong thing, I get it, I've been there. But I do want to add that when people choose to just say nothing at all, instead of being worried about saying the wrong thing, that leads to people on the receiving end just feeling so isolated and so alone and so different. Sometimes, in my personal opinion, it's better to take a chance at saying the wrong thing than to not say anything at all. I can think of very specific situations in my life where I have not said anything because I was really worried about saying the wrong thing. And those are moments in which I look back and I know that I failed my friends, because most of the time it's better to still be there, even if you're gonna make little mistakes, as long as you're willing to, like, hear people out and be willing to hear other opinions and be willing to grow, than to not say anything at all. Express your shortcomings, say, I don't know, help me, what can I do? Do education and research on your own, read a couple articles, maybe even read a book. And it really did make me happy to see so many people put this down as why they were afraid to maybe date someone who is disabled, because it's something that is really simple to remedy. So thank you for your honesty. Thank you for watching this video. A big thank you again to the lovely sponsor of this video. All other links are linked down below. If you check that out, not only does it support my channel, which I appreciate, but it's also something I legitimately believe in. And to my patrons over on Patreon, thank you so much for your generous, kind, and continued support. If you're interested in what Patreon is or what our community is like over there, check out the link on screen or down below. It's pretty great. I'd recommend checking it out. And to you watching this video right now, thank you so much for spending a few minutes out of your day here with me today. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, but you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes, listen to me talk, and that means the world to me. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Have you heard from the sky all about it? Down the river, high tide flows around it. Through the whispers of pines, I hear them sing. The more you love, the more you live.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir. Así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Las y los adolescentes y jóvenes con discapacidad pueden tomar decisiones sobre su sexualidad. Sí, las personas adolescentes y jóvenes con discapacidad intelectual, física, auditiva, visual y psicosocial tienen el derecho de vivir plenamente su sexualidad. El goce de sus derechos sexuales y reproductivos está garantizado en varias leyes nacionales e internacionales. Si ellos lo necesitan, pueden contar con una persona de confianza, que puede ser un familiar o un amigo o amiga, para que les apoye cuando tomen decisiones. Pero absolutamente nadie puede decidir por ellos, independientemente del tipo y el porcentaje de su discapacidad. Para orientarse mejor, deben contar con servicios de salud pública que garanticen información accesible, que incluya, por ejemplo, lengua de señas, señalética en braille y materiales informativos de fácil lectura.
El momento preferido de Abraham es ir al parque, a jugar con los amigos, con la arena, a montar en los columpios. Yo como madre me siento pues muy feliz que otros niños quieran jugar con él. Abraham es un niño más en el parque, totalmente. O si no, por lo menos es lo que más intentamos, ¿verdad? Y luego los propios padres de los otros niños también ayudan mucho a que sea uno más.
Ven con él. Al columpio.
Mira el nene, qué alto, mira. ¡Hola!
Bueno, ¿eh? ¿Sí? Hola. ¿Esta niña es tuya?
Sí.
Qué mona. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Paula.
Leire, aquí está.
Leire.
Ay,
nos ha dejado la pelotita, Leire.
Está jugando. Leire. Nada, muchas gracias, señora. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Encantada de jugar con él.
Gracias,
Nada.
Mira, Abraham. Claro, cada uno tiene lo suyo, pero que es muy agradecer, ¿sabes? Que jueguen también con otros niños.
De nada, hijo.
Gracias, de verdad, gracias.
Hasta luego. Hasta luego.
Pues nada, gracias por nada,
Gracias.
Muchas gracias, de verdad.
Adiós.
Mira, Abraham, vamos, ¿quieres que vayamos un poquito ahí al columpio? ¿Dónde quieres ir? A ver.
Definitivamente para mí desde que se abrió el metro, fue una ayuda maravillosa. Ya no tengo como que levantarme con 2 horas de anticipación para poder irme a la universidad, ¿no? Sino que todo ese tiempo lo utilizo para estudiar, lo utilizo para hacer mis deberes.
En mi caso yo puedo contar que mi estrés
ha disminuido totalmente. Llego tranquilo y frescamente al trabajo y también no estoy con la preocupación de que tengo que salir rápido porque el tráfico es terrible.
Lamentablemente por mi discapacidad tenía que movilizarme en los buses urbanos que les llaman. Los choferes, hay muchos de ellos que no son amables, entonces se me hacía muy difícil. Para nosotros el metro sí ha sido una gran ayuda. Cuenta con el ascensor, cuenta con las rampas donde puede entrar la silla de ruedas. Entonces ahí se le hace un poquito más fácil a mi hijo empujar la silla, subirme, todo eso.
Por ejemplo, cuando vienen personas con discapacidad, el personal del Metro de Quito ingresa a los vagones, les ubica dentro de los asientos o en las zonas preferenciales para las personas con silla de ruedas y pues una vez que les dejan ubicados, ahí recién salen y pues continúa el trayecto del tren.
Esos días de trasladarme al centro de Quito, que para mí había sido históricamente o ir en carro o ir en bus, era realmente complejo. Entonces ir en 10, 15 minutos, estar en el centro de Quito era algo mágico. En realidad llegar y descubrir en ese momento de una cosa tan rápida, eso me resultó realmente placentero.
Yo vivo en el sur de Quito y pues la mayoría de las instituciones en las que incluso podemos hacer prácticas se encuentran en el centro o en el norte. Entonces yo creo que en caso de que pues llegue a trabajar en una de estas instituciones, definitivamente el sistema de transporte nos ayudaría muchísimo, claro, para incluso no tener que cambiarnos de residencia para poder acceder a estas plazas de trabajo.
Sí, les diría que prueben, que se atrevan, que sí es factible, sí es importante para nosotros estas facilidades que nos da el metro.
El Metro de Quito yo creo que es el proyecto más importante de las últimas décadas en la ciudad. El Metro de Quito nos ha puesto en movimiento y es la gran oportunidad para construir una ciudadanía corresponsable.
Me encanta cómo se está construyendo toda esta cultura de respeto, de cordialidad, como que se están retornando a los valores de la gente quiteña cálida, amable, como siempre ha sido.
¿Conoces los programas que conforman a la CNDH? 6. Atención a personas con discapacidad. Este importante programa, perteneciente a la primera Visitaduría General, trabaja de manera conjunta con organizaciones de la sociedad civil y dependencias de los 3 órdenes de gobierno, a través de la promoción, difusión, orientación y acompañamiento en casos de presunta vulneración a los derechos humanos de las personas con discapacidad. Además, realiza investigaciones, informes y diagnósticos acerca del estado que guardan los derechos humanos de este sector de la población, a fin de dar a conocer las áreas de oportunidad, coadyuvando con la asertiva toma de decisiones en pro de la inclusión. Si consideras que tus derechos han sido vulnerados, acércate a nosotros. En la Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos, defendemos al pueblo.
Soy José. Todas las mañanas me levanto, tomo desayuno y me voy al trabajo. Al llegar me pongo muy contento. He conocido entretenidos y buenos amigos. En mi empresa reconocen lo que hago. Estoy orgulloso de trabajar aquí. Siento que la vida me ha dado mucho. José es mi hijo, es sordomudo y sus logros son también nuestros logros.
Los
Instituto Nacional para Ciegos.
Hola, soy Alejandro. Al igual que yo, muchas personas ciegas y con baja visión utilizamos lectores de pantalla y magnificadores de pantalla para navegar en diferentes documentos, páginas web, redes sociales y otros contenidos digitales.
Dirección, carrera 13, signo de número 3491.
Pero no todos los contenidos digitales son accesibles. A veces no podemos consultar información en línea, consultar información bancaria, agendar citas o adquirir otro tipo de servicios en la web. Las imágenes no cuentan con texto alternativo comprensible.
Imagen.
El texto es demasiado pequeño o tiene colores difíciles de distinguir. Por eso es importante que todos los contenidos digitales sean publicados con criterios de accesibilidad para que todas las personas puedan acceder de forma autónoma e independiente sin importar si tienen o no una discapacidad.
Computador portátil con la biblioteca virtual para ciegos abierta.
La accesibilidad nos permite a todos aprender, trabajar, comprar productos en línea, conocer la información de servicios, nuestras facturas digitales y disfrutar del mundo digital. Instituto Nacional para Ciegos, INCI. Aparece el logo del Instituto Nacional para Ciegos, INCI, y sus redes sociales, www.inci.gov.co.
En este video abordaremos el uso y cuidados básicos para un buen funcionamiento de sus audífonos. Así que presta atención a estas recomendaciones. 1. Encendido y apagado. Para encender sus audífonos, simplemente cierre la caja de la pila y para apagarlo, abra la caja. Este simple paso va a contribuir a la durabilidad de sus baterías. 2. Verificación de funcionamiento. Puede comprobar que el audífono esté funcionando al tocar la parte de arriba del audífono con uno de sus dedos. Si escucha el chirrido, entonces está funcionando. 3. Duración de la pila. La duración de las pilas se relaciona al tiempo de uso. Los audífonos se deben ocupar todo el día, todos los días, excepto para dormir y para bañarse. Si eso es así, las pilas deben durar aproximadamente entre 7 a 10 días. 4. Identificación de oído. Cada audífono tiene una marca para el oído correspondiente. Si la marca es roja, es para el oído derecho, y si es azul, es para el oído izquierdo. 5. Limpieza adecuada. Todos los días se debe limpiar los audífonos. La limpieza se realiza con un paño seco. Para eso, primero tiene que separar el molde del audífono, limpiarlo con el paño y con el cepillo retirar todo el cerumen que pueda estar dentro del molde. El molde se puede lavar una vez a la semana con las pastillas de limpieza o con un jabón neutro, asegurándose siempre de mantenerlo bien seco, ayudándose con una pera de secado. Siga estas recomendaciones para una mayor durabilidad y provecho de sus audífonos. Para mayor información visita nuestra página web cenadis.gov.cl.
Ministerio de Desarrollo Social y Familia, Gobierno de Chile. Chile avanza contigo.
¿Qué es la educación inclusiva? Es aquella que genera oportunidades de participación y aprendizaje donde se apuesta por entornos adecuados para que todos los niños y niñas aprendan juntos, independientemente de sus condiciones personales, sociales o culturales. El artículo 16 de la Constitución Política del Perú, el artículo 24 de la Convención sobre los Derechos de la Persona con Discapacidad y el artículo 35 de la Ley número 29973, Ley General de la Persona con Discapacidad, establecen el derecho al acceso a la educación de los niños y niñas con discapacidad en sus 3 niveles, primaria, secundaria y superior inclusiva, con los ajustes razonables según lo requiera. El acceso a la educación es vital para la formación de las personas con discapacidad. Allí se logran forjar habilidades y conocimientos para un posterior desarrollo laboral y profesional, generando así una sociedad más inclusiva.
Gobierno del Perú. El Perú primero.
Las personas con discapacidad severa se enfrentan a diversas barreras al desplazarse en la ciudad y en el transporte público. Por ello, desde el Ministerio de Transportes y Comunicaciones queremos dar a conocer sus derechos y respetarlos. Las personas con discapacidad severa pueden obtener ante CONADIS el carné amarillo, que les otorga el beneficio del pase libre en el transporte público urbano e interurbano. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Que pueden desplazarse gratuitamente en estos servicios. Desde el Ministerio de Transportes y Comunicaciones exhortamos a los transportistas a cumplir con la norma. El pase libre es un beneficio garantizado en la Ley 3412 para que los niños, adultos y ancianos con discapacidad severa puedan desplazarse gratuitamente en los servicios de transporte público urbano e interurbano. Los transportistas que incumplan la norma pueden recibir una sanción de hasta el 20% de una UIT y la inhabilitación vehicular para prestar el servicio de transporte público.
Juli.
Sí.
¿Venís un segundo, por favor?
¿Cómo va todo?
Todo bien.
¿Bien?
Bien.
Genial, me alegro. Bueno, hoy se va a estar sumando un chico nuevo al equipo.
Bien.
Así que quiero que lo ayudemos, viste que el primer día no es fácil para nadie.
No.
Vos vas a ser el encargado de explicarle cómo funcionan las cosas.
Bien.
Tengámosle paciencia, viste que la adaptación no es fácil.
No, claro, obvio.
Si hay que explicarle las cosas 2 veces.
Se las explicamos 2 veces.
Sí, si hay que explicárselas 3 veces.
3 veces.
3 veces, perfecto. Mira, justo ahí viene.
Hola.
Hola. Mati, él es Juli.
Hola.
Juli va a ser el encargado de presentarte a los chicos del equipo y mostrarte cómo funciona todo por acá. Así que bueno, si quieren ir leyendo.
Vamos, te muestro todo.
Juli. Vamos a sentir una más, ¿dale?
Sí. Freidora.
Y esta es la tostadora.
Bien, exacto. Bueno, en ese osito, poné la bebida.
¿La bebida?
Ah, sí, sí. Salen con de vainilla. No importa, tranquilo.
Gracias al esfuerzo de parlamentarios se aprobó una moción parlamentaria que hace una cosa súper concreta y que como gobierno tenemos que promulgar, que es que hoy día, si tú te estacionas en un estacionamiento para personas con discapacidad o impides el acceso o utilizas parte del espacio, la sanción aumentó. ¿Cuál va a ser ahora? Vas a tener que pagar entre 50.000 pesos y 75.000 pesos de multa y además el juez puede suspenderte la licencia si es que has cometido otra infracción grave en el año. Por lo tanto, de la situación anterior, que era una multa mucho inferior y que no había suspensión de licencia, tenemos hoy día una sanción más dura que hace que tengamos incentivos correctos para que la gente no ocupe los estacionamientos de las personas con discapacidad. Esperamos que los chilenos tengamos conciencia de esto, pero además ya tenemos sanciones más duras para aquellos que no son capaces de entender este mensaje.
Cuando una empresa publica una búsqueda laboral, está hablando de lo que necesita, pero también de lo que ofrece. ¿Cómo responden las personas a esa oferta? El BID realizó el primer estudio a gran escala en idioma español para comprender cómo el lenguaje afecta en la decisión de aplicar un empleo en sectores altamente masculinizados, como la construcción, la ingeniería y la programación. El resultado fue categórico. Los anuncios que utilizaban ambos géneros fueron preferidos no solo por parte de las mujeres, sino de los hombres. En el caso de las mujeres, esta práctica aumentó su respuesta en un 43% y un 10% entre los hombres. Cuando además se menciona explícitamente que se ofrece un entorno de trabajo igualitario y diverso, estos valores fueron aún más altos. ¿Qué quiere decir? Que estos avisos de búsqueda laboral demostraron tener muchas más posibilidades de recibir aplicaciones, lo que se traduce en más chances de encontrar la persona perfecta para el puesto. En una región donde la igualdad de género en el trabajo aún es un desafío, la redacción cuidadosa de los avisos de empleo es una herramienta sencilla y costo efectiva que pueden implementar las empresas que estén comprometidas con ser un espacio laboral más igualitario e inclusivo. Y esa es una buena noticia. Es hora de cambiar cómo buscamos nuestros equipos para cambiar cómo somos.
¿Qué es la educación inclusiva? Es aquella que genera oportunidades de participación y aprendizaje donde se apuesta por entornos adecuados para que todos los niños y niñas aprendan juntos, independientemente de sus condiciones personales, sociales o culturales. El artículo 16 de la Constitución Política del Perú, el artículo 24 de la Convención sobre los Derechos de la Persona con Discapacidad y el artículo 35 de la Ley número 29973, Ley General de la Persona con Discapacidad, establecen el derecho al acceso a la educación de los niños y niñas con discapacidad en sus 3 niveles, primaria, secundaria y superior inclusiva, con los ajustes razonables según lo requiera. El acceso a la educación es vital para la formación de las personas con discapacidad. Allí se logran forjar habilidades y conocimientos para un posterior desarrollo laboral y profesional, generando así una sociedad más inclusiva.
Gobierno del Perú. Del Perú primero.
En un pasillo hay una mujer usuaria de silla de ruedas.
¿Ficción o realidad?
La mujer se acerca a un ascensor y unas personas pasan delante de ella. La mujer les mira con molestia y sube al ascensor. Suben 2 ejecutivas.
Qué terrible lo de este ascensor.
¡Ay, terrible!
Ya cuéntame.
Se apoyan en la silla de ruedas.
¿Y lo supiste? No, pero si le gritó a todo el mundo la desubicada. Ah, pero es que no me sorprende si ella siempre ha sido desubicada.
Sube un repartidor.
¿Aló? ¿Aló, jefe? No, si la hago cortísima, ahora le meto turbo a la moto y llevo al toque.
La mujer baja.
Tal vez parece ficción, pero es la realidad de muchas personas con discapacidad.
Ve al repartidor salir del edificio.
Cada momento es una oportunidad para la inclusión.
La mujer sube al ascensor sonriendo. Un grupo de personas espera tras ella.
La vida está compuesta por acciones grandes o pequeñas que nos permiten avanzar hacia el cambio cultural.
Unas puertas automáticas se abren delante de la mujer.
Con actos de inclusión, reafirmamos los derechos de las personas con discapacidad.
Ella sonríe a cámara.
Más información, cenadis.gov.cl. Cenadis, Ministerio de Desarrollo Social y Familia, Gobierno de Chile. Presentes por un mejor futuro.
A veces solo somos el reflejo de aquello que queremos ser. Somos sombra y oscuridad. Y no solo en esta profesión, se da una lucha continua por ser aceptado, por hacer amigos, cuando tu enemigo es el reflejo que te da el espejo. La discapacidad más grande de todas es la de tu propio miedo. El reto ya no es superar al resto, sino uno mismo. Creer en ti y amarte tal cual eres. Tu alma es la que necesita mejorar su apariencia.
Mi nombre es Jesús Albeiro Urbano, soy del municipio de Santa Cruz, Guachavés, vivo en una vereda que se llama El Pedregal. Soy sobreviviente de una mina antipersonal, perdí mis 2 piernas. Desde ahí quedé en una silla de ruedas. Yo pensaba que ya era una persona que de pronto no servía para nada, pero gracias a la ayuda de mi familia, de mi novia, yo me superé y siempre he querido darles como a la gente un ejemplo de vida que uno en condición de discapacidad sí puede salir adelante. Yo tenía unos ahorros por ahí y me compré un carro y lo hice adaptar a la mano. Entonces yo tengo una van y ahí transporto 17 niños a una guardería. Cuando yo era niño, mi mayor sueño era estudiar y tener una profesión, pero por cosas de la vida, la pobreza, mi papá no tenía los recursos, terminé el quinto de primaria y me retiré. Y siempre quería entrar a estudiar a una universidad. Para mí la Escuela Superior de la ESAP, ¿cómo les puedo decir? Como un regalo de Dios o no sé, ¿no? Porque esta universidad llega a este municipio, es un municipio pequeño. Esto es una oportunidad como para las personas que de pronto no tenemos los recursos para salir a una ciudad. Entonces es bueno estudiar y que tengan el conocimiento y no se desanimen por nada y que el estudio es lo más bonito que tenemos en la vida.
ESAP, Escuela Superior de Administración Pública. El servicio público es de todos. Función pública.
¡Hola mundo!
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación.
¡Hola mundo!
Muchas gracias.